Vice Chancellor of the University of Hyderabad. He taught at the School of Physical Sciences, JNU, New Delhi, and he is also the fellow of the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Mumbai. He received his PhD in chemistry from University of Princeton, USA in the year 1978. Professor Ramaswamy's professional research interests include chemical dynamics, classical and quantum chaos, and genomics. He has published more than 150 research papers in national and international reputed journals. He spoken at more than 100 conferences in India and outside the country, and also in workshops and seminars. He has received numerous awards, including the 2010, that is Dr. Raja Ramanna Lecture in Physics. This is in brief about the chairman of this session. Now I request Professor Ramaswamy to conduct the sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Reddy. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. We have sort of an interesting panel round up for you, and the topic has already been touched upon in various ways. Let me, in the interest of time and allowing more discussion from the floor, request all my co-panelists to be somewhat brief, and let's sort of give our main ideas about the problem at hand. I am a product of the schooling system immediately after independence, and I grew up in the 50s and the 1960s when the government was taking various initiatives to build the nation. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was very keen about encouraging the so-called scientific temper, and one of the great things that he did was to set up the NCERT, the National Council of Education, Research and Training, which all of us still have and respect today. But one of the great things that the NCERT did at the time, in the 60s, started it, was to come up with a program called the National Science Talent Scheme, NSTS. And this was something that any student could write at high school, and it gave the people who got it, some 300 or so, it gave them a few things. One thing that it gave, I was a recipient of the fellowship, so I'll tell you what all I got. One of them was that I got 100 rupees a month for my own scholarship. I got 100 rupees a year for tuition fees. I got 100 rupees a year for books. And I got the chance to go every summer for a summer camp, along with other recipients of this fellowship. And, okay, now 100 rupees in those days, my entire hostel, I studied in Loyola College, Madras, so the entire hostel was covered. I paid for my hostel from my scholarship. My annual tuition fees was less than 100 rupees, so I was able to pay my annual tuition. Books were available quite cheaply. The dollar was 5 rupees. So we are talking about, everyone had a $20 grant. Okay, $20 would be about 1,000 rupees. Not great amount, but not too bad. That meant that I was able to buy a lot of books, and I still have some of them. And I went to the summer camp for about a month every summer, where I made some of my best friends. This is what the country used to do. And what was done, if you look at all the scientists of the ages of between 55 and 65 in the country, a very large number of them were Science Talent Scholarship holders. Jemis, for example, Gautam Desiraju. All the leading scientists today go back to that time. So, while we debate a declining interest in basic science education and research among students, reasons and remedies, I think one important thing to remember is that at one point in time in our country, we did it right. We were able to create a large body of students who were interested in science, who more or less dedicated themselves to science. That 100 rupees allowed me to fight with my father. I didn't have to follow what he said and go to engineering school. Not that the more important fight was with my mother. She said, go do IAS. I said, forget it. I'm going to, I can pay my own scholarship, I can pay my hostel, I can pay my tuition, and I was independent. Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say through this anecdote is that education can only provide you so much. Parents can only provide so much. What we need to do, I feel, are two things. One is to enable a large number of students. At that time, 350 students would get the Science Talent Scholarship. Today, if you add KVPY, all these things, it's not much more than that. We need to get to much, much larger numbers. And that's where I think that scholarships like Inspire and others are good. We need to have large numbers, and I believe that these scholarships should be substantial enough that economics is not the reason for choosing a particular route or particular degree or whatever it is that one has to do in a particular stream, let's say. Economics, that is the fact that you'll make more money or what have you, at least some of that argument should go on. Thirdly, and this is the one that I actually believe in most, is that, many people have talked about it already in the little while that I've heard, we really get inspired by our colleagues. So rather than have individual single scientists who are going out and doing things individually, we really get a lot of strength by having a community. So when you have a number of people who have interests like you, I think it's easier for students to go into a particular stream. I certainly found it very nice that I was able to go to a summer camp with 30 students, all of whom were really very interested. In those days I used to study chemistry, but all of us were really desperately interested in chemistry and wanted to do things. We didn't think it was odd. Nobody made fun of us, and there was nobody trying to say, no, go do engineering or go do MBA or something like that. In short, I think that the problems, the reasons why we are having a declining interest is that we are competing against various different gradients. There's an economic gradient, but there's also very little effort being made to build up peer groups where people can discuss with each other, where people can be inspired from each other, and people can belong to a particular family. There are many remedies that our country is doing already. The National Science Talent Scheme, NSTS, was replaced by NTS, National Talent Scheme, that got diluted and so on. Then about 15 years ago, we started this KVPY, Kishore Vigyan Protsahan Yojana. Now there is the Inspire. I think that many of these schemes are good, need a little tweaking here and there, but any scheme that will enable a student to make his or her own choices and stay with it, I think those would be particularly good. The fact that, the last thing that I want to say is that I do also believe that building communities is an excellent way, and what many of these schemes do is to allow students to go in the summertime and do research. There's good and bad to that. What is good about it is that many students, and in particular something like 1,500 or so students, are selected by the academies and they go to different laboratories and they work over there. What is nice is that they have a chance to do research, especially when they don't have any facilities in the places where they are studying. What is also bad is that research is something that you do in the months of May, June, July. And the rest of the year you don't do research, as if research is something that you can just sort of switch off in, in July and then you come back to it next May. We need to have a little more creation of facilities whereby students can do research anytime, all the time. However, the fact that you have these summer programs is, I think, good. And I was discussing with Professor Mohan Rao a little while ago. I would like to make a special appeal to the Andhra Pradesh Academy of Science. See, as of now, the Indian National Science Academy, the Indian Academy of Science, and the National Academy of Science of India, all these three academies get together and they run a summer program for students, BSc, MSc students. They are able to place about 1,500 students in various laboratories working typically with fellows of one or the other academies. I would like to suggest that the Andhra Pradesh Academy also join this effort. This would be good in more than one way. The first thing is that it could spread the word in Andhra Pradesh to all the colleges to let them know that there are these opportunities. And secondly, it could also bring those scientists and those institutions that are not part of the INSA, Indian Academy, that network, they could bring such institutions and such scientists into the list so that they can also mentor students in the summer. And hopefully if we get used to having special visiting students in the summer, we can also have them the rest of the year and then make science an everyday activity. That's really all I have to say about the, about this topic at hand. And I'd like to now invite other members of the panel to put forth their views and then we will throw it open to the floor. Thank you.